Before the apple was a snack, a pie, or a symbol of temptation, it was a wild fruit clinging to the slopes of the Tian Shan mountains in what is now Kazakhstan. There, in forests that still survive today, grows Malus sieversii, the ancestor of nearly every apple humanity has ever eaten. These wild trees bore fruit in a staggering variety, some bitter and small, others sweet and large, and from this living vault the modern apple slowly emerged. Bears and horses ate the fruit and scattered its seeds, and over thousands of years the trees migrated westward along the trade routes that would one day be called the Silk Road. Travelers carried seeds and grafted cuttings, and with every mile the apple drew closer to the orchards we know. By the time the Romans tended their groves, they had already mastered grafting, the art of joining a cutting from a prized tree onto sturdy rootstock. This single technique transformed the apple, for a seed planted from a sweet apple rarely yields a sweet tree. Only by grafting could a farmer reproduce a beloved variety again and again, and so the orchard became a place of careful inheritance, each tree a deliberate copy of one that came before. The Romans spread these techniques across their empire, and apples took root in the cool, temperate lands of Europe where they would flourish for centuries. Growing an apple is an exercise in patience. A young tree planted in spring may take 4 or 5 years before it bears its first serious crop. The trees demand a period of winter cold, a dormancy that prepares the buds for spring, which is why apples favor regions with distinct seasons. In late spring, the orchards erupt into clouds of pink and white blossom, and here the farmer depends on an ancient partnership, for bees and other pollinators must carry pollen from flower to flower or no fruit will set at all. Through summer, the small green fruits swell on the branches while growers prune, thin, and guard against pests and disease. Then comes autumn, the season of harvest, when the fruit is picked by hand, gently twisted from the branch so as not to bruise the flesh or tear the spur that will bear next year's crop. For most of history, this labor fell to families and seasonal workers moving ladder by ladder through the rows, filling baskets and bins beneath the turning leaves. The apple did not stay in Europe. When settlers crossed the Atlantic, they carried seeds and seedlings to a new continent, and the fruit became woven into the story of a growing nation. A man named John Chapman, remembered as Johnny Appleseed, wandered the American frontier planting nurseries, though the apples he sowed were mostly small and sharp, destined not for eating but for cider, which served as a safer drink than water in many a rough settlement. Across the centuries, the apple gathered meaning far beyond its taste. It became the forbidden fruit of religious painting, the prize of mythology, the gift for a teacher, and the emblem stamped upon great cities and modern companies alike. Few foods carry such a weight of symbolism in the human imagination. Today, the apple is one of the most widely grown fruits on Earth. More than 90 million tons are harvested each year, with China producing nearly half of that vast total. Modern orchards often look nothing like the sprawling groves of the past. Trees are bred to grow short and slender, trained along wires in dense rows so that pickers can reach the fruit without ladders. And some farms now trial robotic arms and cameras that judge ripeness by color. Refrigeration and controlled atmosphere storage allow an apple picked in October to reach a table in spring, crisp as the day it left the branch. Yet for all this technology, the essential bargain remains unchanged. A grower still waits years for a tree to mature, still depends on the cold of winter and the bees of spring, still watches the sky through the long months until harvest. From the wild forests of Central Asia to the engineered rows of the present day, the apple has traveled farther than almost any fruit, carried by hooves, by hands, and by the simple human wish for something sweet at the end of the season.